Ladies and gentlemen, it is now with great pleasure that we commence the award ceremony this evening. Now, the MAS Partner Appreciation Award recognizes 17 of MAS's key partners who have worked closely with MAS over the years and made significant contributions to Singapore's financial sector. I would now like to invite Mr. Lawrence Wong, the Minister of Finance and the Deputy Chairman of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, to come on stage to present the awards tonight. Welcome, Minister. All right, without further ado, I would like to invite our first awardee for this evening, Mr. Shadab Tayyabi, the President of the Singapore FinTech Association, to come on stage to receive the Partners Appreciation Award. The SFA was formed in 2016 as a cross-industry and non-profit organization to support the development of Singapore's fintech industry. Key collaborations with the MAS include the MAS SFA AMTD FinTech Solidarity Grant and the SFA FinTech Certification Program to support Singapore-based fintech companies amidst these challenging times. Thank you very much, SFA and Mr. Tayyabi. Next, we have Mr. Barakat Ali, Chairperson of the Remittance Association Singapore, or RAS. RAS was formed in 2014 as an association that brings together remittance licensees supervised by MAS. The RAS has helped to smooth transitions to the new Payment Services Act. It has also helped to improve risk management and governance standards of the industry through regular training sessions. Thank you very much, RAS and Mr. Ali. Coming up, we have Mr. August Hateke, co-chair of the Private Banking Industry Group. Established in 2010, Private Banking Industry Group, or PBIG, comprises senior private banking leaders and is co-chaired by the MAS and industry representatives. PBIG was instrumental in introducing self-regulation to the private banking industry through the implementation of the Private Banking Code. And most recently, PBIG launched the Build, Encourage, Nurture work-study internship initiative to groom our local talent pipeline for the private banking industry. Thank you very much, Mr. Hateke and PBIG. And next, let's welcome Ms. Yunus Choi, the CEO of the Financial Industry Disputes Resolution Centre, or FIDRAC. FIDRAC was set up in 2005 as an independent institution that provides a low-cost avenue for consumers to resolve their disputes with financial institutions through mediation and adjudication. In collaboration with the Subordinate Courts of Singapore, General Insurance Association and MAS, the FIDRAC Non-Injury Motor Accident Scheme was launched in 2008 to offer consumers an effective and affordable way of resolving low-value motor accident claims. Thank you, FIDRAC and Ms. Chua. Next up, let me invite Ms. Tan Hui Min, the General Manager of Credit Counselling Singapore. Credit Counselling Singapore, or CCS, is an independent non-profit organization social service agency which has helped many individuals address their unsecured debt problems since 2004. With the support of the Association of Banks in Singapore, Monetary Authority of Singapore and Enterprise Singapore, CCS launched the Sole Proprietors and Partnerships Scheme to help SMEs affected by COVID-19 to restructure their debts. CCS also works closely with the MAS to promote consumer financial education through its Money Sense program. Thank you very much, CCS and Ms. Tan. Coming up, we have Ms. Melinda Sam, the CEO of the Securities Association of Singapore. Securities Association of Singapore, or SAS, was established in 2001 and represents the interest of the stockbroking industry. SAS has worked closely with MAS on regulatory and developmental initiatives such as issuing industry guidelines on MAS's requirements and proposing plans to build a more vibrant market for retail investors in Singapore. Thank you very much, Ms. Sam and SAS. I would now like to invite Mr. Augustine Lee, President of the Association of Financial Advisors Singapore. Association of Financial Advisors, or AFAS, was established in 2001 to represent the interests of licensed financial advisors. Key collaborations include the Financial Advisory Industry Review, or FAIR Panel, raising financial advisory standards. AFAS also helped to build an industry platform for online submission of insurance policy applications to insurers and participated as an expert panel member for MAS's mystery shopping exercise. Thank you, AFAS and Mr. Lee. Up next, let's welcome Mr. David Gerald, President of the Securities Investors Association Singapore. Securities Investors Association Singapore, or SIAS, was founded in 1999 to promote investor education, corporate governance, and transparency, and it is an advocate for investor rights in Singapore. It is also the largest organized investor group in Asia, with almost 71,000 retail investors as members. SIAS works closely with MAS on retail investor education and advocacy, such as organizing My Money investor education seminars and Beware investment scam campaigns. Thank you very much, SIAS and Mr. Gerald. Next, we have Ms. Carmen Wee, CEO of Investment Management Association of Singapore, otherwise known as IMAS. IMAS was established in 1997 to spearhead the development of the investment management industry in Singapore. Now, in recent years, IMAS partnered MAS to organize an industry group that co-created the Environmental Risk Management Guidelines, or the ERMG, for asset managers. IMAS also worked together with the Worldwide Fund for Nature to promote the adoption of ESG practices in the investment management industry. Thank you very much, IMAS and Ms. Wee. And next, let me invite Mr. David Lin, the co-chairman of Singapore Foreign Exchange Market Committee. Singapore Foreign Exchange Market Committee, or the SFEMC, was established in 1986 and has played a pivotal role in developing Singapore into Asia's largest forex center, which includes enhancing the indicative survey rate. The committee has continued to drive key developments in Singapore's financial markets, such as the SOAR-to-SORA transition and the entrenchment of the regional FX e-trading ecosystem. Thank you very much, SFEMC and Mr. Lin. Now let's welcome Mr. Jeffrey Yeo, the Executive Director of the Singapore Re-Insurers Association. Singapore Re-Insurers Association, or SRA, was established in 1979 to represent members in matters affecting their business interests and to advance the reinsurance industry in Singapore. SRA was a key member of the Contract Certainty Work Group that provided expertise and resource in establishing and maintaining reinsurance contract certainty principles in Singapore. Thank you very much, SRA and Mr. Yeo. Coming up, we have Mr. Ng Nam Sin, the CEO of the Institute of Banking and Finance. The Institute of Banking and Finance, or IBF, was established in 1974 as a non-profit industry organization to foster and develop professional competencies of the finance industry. During the course of COVID-19, it was with IBF's strong support that the financial sector saw an increased participation in training, which in turn created 2,200 net jobs in 2020 alone. IBF has been appointed the Jobs Development Partner, or JDP, for the financial sector last year to further boost Singaporeans' access to jobs and training in the sector. Thank you very much, IBF and Mr. Ng. Now let's welcome Mr. Wee Ee Cheong, Chairman of the Association of Banks in Singapore. Association of Banks Singapore, or ABS, was established in 1973 as a non-profit organization representing the interests of the commercial and investment banking community. ABS is also MAS's key partner in steering the transition of Singapore's interest rate benchmark in Singapore dollar from the SOR and SIBOR to the SORA. With the strong support of ABS, MAS has rolled out several industry-wide digital initiatives such as SGQR, PayNow, and the API Playbook. Recently, ABS has also collaborated with the public sector to develop SG Findex. Thank you very much, ABS and Mr. Wee. Coming up, we have Ms. Lee Xiao Hui, the Executive Director of the Consumers Association of Singapore. Consumers Association of Singapore, also known as CASE, was established in 1971, a non-profit, non-governmental organization that is committed to protecting consumers' interests through information and education, while also promoting an environment of fair and ethical trade practices. One of their key collaborations with MAS, together with the Life Insurance Association of Singapore and MoneySense, was the launch of the Compare First web portal. Thank you very much, Case and Ms. Lee. Now let's welcome Mr. Lee Ziliong, the Honorary Secretary of the Finance Houses Association of Singapore, or FHAS. Established in 1968, MAS regularly engages FHAS on matters relating to finance companies. During the COVID-19 pandemic, FHAS worked closely in partnership with MAS in the banking sector, supporting the rollout of debt relief measures, helping individuals and small businesses with cash flow difficulties. Thank you very much, FHAS and Mr. Lee. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Ho Kai Weng, the Chief Executive of the General Insurance Association of Singapore, or GIA. Established in 1966, GIA works to make all aspects of general insurance easier and more effective for consumers, agents, and insurers. GIA has worked closely with the MAS to implement developmental initiatives such as the ERMG and jointly established the Insurance Culture and Conduct Steering Committee with MAS to raise standards for the insurance industry. Thank you very much, GIA and Mr. Ho. Last but certainly not least, let's welcome Ms. Pauline Lim, the Executive Director of the Life Insurance Association, or LIA. Registered in 1962, LIA is a trade association of licensed life insurers and reinsurers that represents the interests of the life insurance industry. LIA has worked with MAS on various initiatives and has also developed industry best practices and developed consumer guides and tools. More recently, in order to ease the financial difficulties of policyholders caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, LIA mobilized the industry to support policyholders with a deferred premium payment scheme. Thank you very much, LIA and Ms. Lim. Thank you. And thank you very much, Minister Wong, for presenting the awards to all our partners tonight.